When you return to 1.8 million years ago, you're about to witness the shadowy rise of our human ancestors. Our distant cousins have already shed most of their body hair and mastered upright walking and running. They are also known as Homo erectus. The emergence of Homo erectus signals the trumpet blast for a new dynasty. At this moment, they're eyeing prey not far off. The one with crocodile teeth in his mouth is the chief of this tribe. Even though the distant prey is clearly dying, he's in no hurry to act. But the young men of the tribe just can't hold back. Homo erectus already possesses a certain ability to communicate. Obviously, the chief believes timing is crucial. After all, these prey are just as cunning. To hunt it down, many have been chasing it for a day and a night. However, the downside of youth is impulsiveness. The young man didn't obey the chief's order and, yelling, led his companions in a charge. Yet, being too eager can lead to trouble. The ground in this area is clearly a bit slippery, and at that moment, the prey was indeed feigning death. The next second, it sprang up and fled. If you love diving deep into prehistoric stories, from the age of dinosaurs to the incredible journey of early humans, then you've found your tribe. Make sure to subscribe to Prehistoric right now. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our weekly updates. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like to support the channel. The evolution of Homo erectus. At this point, Homo erectus already possesses a rudimentary human form. The reduction in body hair naturally has a reason. For instance, at noon, temperatures could easily exceed 35 degrees Celsius. Most animals at this time would seek shade or try to avoid strenuous activity. But Homo erectus, due to less hair, can dissipate heat quickly. The uniqueness of Homo erectus isn't limited to this. The ability to organize and think about their surrounding environment is the key to their success. For example, other animals wouldn't be interested in footprints on the ground. They'd see them as just part of the environment. However, Homo erectus would ponder which animal left them, and this is the key to unlocking nature's mysteries. Furthermore, they'd start to understand what kind of person does what, and certain migratory abilities also signify seasonal changes and the arrival of new opportunities. They learn new things almost every day. After a long time, they understood almost all animal footprints. Of course, there were special cases. Some things puzzled them to no end, like that peculiar and regular mark. It's normal not to figure it out because it's the mark you left riding your strange mechanical steed. It was these new modes of observation that enabled this species to achieve tremendous success. During this period, they could already craft simple stone tools. This sharp weapon could precisely cut prey, demonstrating their foresight and planning. Such a hand axe was arguably the most complex tool on Earth at the time. Using weapons for hunting significantly improved efficiency, and in later stages, these Homo erectus might have even learned to use fire, which meant nights became more safe, freeing them from constant anxiety. Although Homo erectus at this time had undergone a revolutionary change compared to earlier hominids, they are not our direct ancestors. Before our true ancestors make their grand appearance, let's delve deeper into Homo erectus. Running is easy for most animals, but few can maintain highly efficient running for extended periods. Homo erectus, with their superior running ability and endurance, could exhaust wounded prey. With less body hair, Homo erectus could prevent overheating by sweating. We've vastly underestimated our own running abilities. Among all predators, humans are the only species capable of running a full marathon in one go. Group action, exhausting the prey, a fail strike, this is the power of Homo erectus. The reason for all this is that Homo erectus had already changed their dietary habits. Most earlier hominids ate foods that were very difficult to digest, while Homo erectus began consuming nutrient-rich and easily digestible meat. This led to their intestines gradually shrinking. As a result, energy previously used for digestion was conserved and redirected to the brain. This caused their brains to expand. Therefore, the intelligence of Homo erectus improved significantly compared to before. And most importantly, at this time, Homo erectus already possessed complex social relationships. They had developed rich emotions and even began to think of others. This is empathy. The emergence of empathy made them unstoppable. During the rise of Homo erectus, they gradually began to migrate out of Africa and subsequently spread throughout Asia. Homo erectus yuanmu, Peking man, and Java man all belong to the species Homo erectus. The African Homo erectus evolved into Heidelberg man, a new human species. Later, Heidelberg man journeyed to Europe and ultimately evolved into Neanderthals. However, the human dynasty truly began when Homo sapiens appeared, because they are our direct ancestors, modern humans.
The dinosaurs' final fall. When did the last dinosaur on Earth perish? How long did they survive after the asteroid impact? Approximately 66 million years ago, dinosaurs had a very bad day. An asteroid larger than Mount Everest slammed into Earth at hundreds of kilometers per second. It's estimated that 75% of species, including non-avian dinosaurs, went extinct. Most dinosaurs were incinerated by fire, suffocated, or drowned. There's abundant evidence that all non-avian dinosaurs near the impact site vanished suddenly, leaving no fossils behind. Let's simulate the situation at that time. On the first day of the impact, losses were the most severe. For example, the atmosphere was heated to lethal temperatures, scorching almost everything on Earth's surface. Within hours, most larger dinosaurs would die directly. However, not all dinosaurs perished in the initial phase. Some dinosaurs were incredibly lucky. They hid in caves, with enough protection to withstand the impact's shockwave. In the next 24 hours, as fire and tsunamis raged, more creatures faced death. To this day, there is no exact data on how long the last dinosaur survived, but many experts speculate that at least some dinosaurs survived for days or weeks after the initial impact. Most survivors were smaller dinosaurs. But these few lucky ones weren't so lucky for long. After the asteroid struck Earth, a massive amount of dust and smoke was generated. Most sunlight was blocked by the dust and smoke, and the world was engulfed in a sea of fire. With no sunlight, plants couldn't perform photosynthesis, which led to global changes. Scientists simulated the impact on Earth's creatures living in darkness. As plants withered, cold enveloped the Earth. Most surviving dinosaurs would disappear within 9 months. Temperatures in many parts of Earth would drop below freezing, ultimately leading to dinosaurs freezing to death from starvation. So, how long do you think they survived after the impact? As 2022 AP7 approaches Earth, will humanity successfully navigate this disaster?
The unbroken chain, from fish to human. The evolution from fish to human has been proven. The human ancestor has been identified. This lobed-finned fish, from about 400 million years ago, had special fleshy fins containing bones, allowing them to live and breathe in shallow waters. But no matter how special, it was still a fish. How did it turn into a human? Approximately 400 million years ago, no animals existed on land. All animals still lived in the sea. But a visionary lobed-finned fish appeared in China. It decided to venture onto land. Attempts upon attempts made its fleshy fins stronger and stronger. Though it failed, its descendants inherited its will and spread from southern China to the entire world. After millions of years, these lobed-finned fish slowly adapted to the terrestrial environment. Their fleshy fins evolved into limbs, which could support their bodies for movement on land. Most importantly, their gills gradually developed into lungs, allowing them to breathe air and no longer depend on the aquatic environment.
Lobed-finned fish that adapted to terrestrial life gradually evolved into amphibians. Their body structures, respiratory systems, and lifestyles all changed accordingly, enabling them to survive both in water and on land, and granting them a wider living space. Around 350 million years ago, some amphibians passed more and more time out of the water, gradually evolving into reptiles. Their body structures were better adapted to terrestrial life. To leave the water, they evolved keratinized scales to prevent internal water loss. Their lungs became more complete, allowing them to breathe air more efficiently. And they began to evolve along different paths. Some continuously strengthened their power, others their agility, and still others their intelligence. Dinosaurs that continuously strengthened their power became the supreme rulers. Around 220 million years ago, some smaller reptiles, in order to survive, gradually evolved into mammals. Mammals possess specialized mammary glands that allow them to nurse their young, which significantly improves their survival rate. Their skeletal structures and teeth also underwent adaptive changes, enabling them to better adapt to various environments. Around 65 million years ago, an asteroid catastrophically fell, causing the once dominant dinosaurs to finally exit the stage of history. The timid mammals then were able to strike back fiercely and begin to dominate Earth. Some of them evolved into primates, including the human ancestor. Primates possess more complex brains and hand structures, with more advanced intelligence and flexible motor skills. This gave primates a stronger adaptive capacity, but their weak stature forced them to gather together and develop social and cultural behaviors. Around 2 million years ago, the even more intelligent Homo erectus appeared. They learned to use tools, which was like a devastating blow to other creatures, easily sweeping across the entire Earth. Until 200,000 years ago, they were replaced by Homo Sapiens, who also extinguished all their distant relatives, becoming the only human species. Finally, they established human civilization and gradually evolved into who we are today. This incredible evolutionary journey is buried within thick layers of rock, waiting for humanity to unravel it. I must say, human existence owes a great debt to that hard-working, lobed-finned fish ancestor.
The genesis of humanity, a deeper look. Do you know how the earliest humans were born on Earth? Many people might have this question. Where did we come from? How was the first human born? Let's trace back 420 million years. There was a creature called a bony fish. After leaving the ocean and climbing onto land, they evolved into tetrapods. To adapt and survive, they gradually evolved into amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. But even today, a large portion of people still don't believe that the human ancestor was a fish. However, Darwin's theory of evolution is already deeply ingrained. Summary of the theory of evolution. 65 million years ago, Earth was struck by an asteroid with a diameter of 10 kilometers. Dinosaurs were tragically wiped out. The entire ecosystem was completely destroyed. Only some small mammals and smaller creatures survived and later evolved into primates, laying the foundation for the birth of humans. 25 million years ago, evolution split into two lines. One line evolved into monkeys and the other into chimpanzees. During the evolutionary process, chimpanzees fell behind 6 million years ago and ultimately didn't evolve into intelligent beings. 4.4 million years ago, the first bipedal hominids, the Ardipithecus, appeared. They spent most of their time in trees because there were more dangers on the ground. So when they were hungry, they came down to find food. 3.7 million years ago, the Australopithecus, who evolved from the Ardipithecus, undertook an unprecedented great migration for survival. During this process, they not only had scarce food, but also faced attacks from various ferocious beasts and natural disasters. This was the most challenging time for human ancestors. 1.8 million years ago, the Homo erectus appeared. They had well-developed limbs and flexible minds. They ran very fast, were skilled at hunting, and their survival ability gradually strengthened. As the population gradually expanded, Homo erectus began to spread across the world.
Human footprints gradually covered the Asian and European continents in just a few hundred years. They created miracle after miracle.
Earth's formative years. What you are seeing is the process of Earth's formation 4.6 billion years ago. When gravity gathered these rocks together, our Earth was able to form. But at this time, Earth was incredibly hot, with no solid surface, only vast, boundless seas of molten rock, with temperatures exceeding even 1200 degrees Celsius. Approximately 4.5 billion years ago, a planet named Theia collided with Earth at a speed of 15 kilometers per second. The resulting shock wave rapidly spread, ejecting massive amounts of debris into space, which ultimately formed our moon. Due to this violent collision, Earth's rotation speed became extremely fast, with a day lasting only 6 hours. Subsequently, due to the moon's tidal forces, Earth's rotation speed began to decrease, and the surface magma also gradually cooled. Around 4 billion years ago, an asteroid bearing water and satellites collided with Earth again. And it was precisely because of this collision that Earth experienced a rainstorm lasting 3 million years. From then on, Earth became a blue ocean planet. Around 3.7 billion years ago, the first single-celled life was born. Then, blue-green algae in the ocean began to learn photosynthesis and entered an explosive period of reproduction and growth, releasing vast amounts of oxygen into the atmosphere. From then on, Earth began to teem with life. Around 1 billion years ago, Earth's temperature suddenly plummeted, and it underwent an ice age lasting tens of millions of years, which temporarily halted the progress of life. Earth, therefore, transformed into a snowball. Thousands of years later, massive volcanic eruptions caused Earth's temperature to begin warming, once again creating conditions for life. 500 million years ago, Earth's evolution underwent tremendous changes. The Cambrian explosion led to the birth of countless plants and animals. 200 million years ago, the species that ruled Earth for 130 million years, the dinosaurs, appeared. 65 million years ago, an asteroid 10 kilometers in diameter struck Earth. The explosive power was equivalent to 1 million TNT nuclear bombs. 99% of all life perished in the collision. It was precisely because of this event that humans had the opportunity to step onto the Earth's stage. Finally, 2 million years ago, the first Homo Sapiens was born on Earth and continuously evolved over the next millions of years. With their developed brains and flexible limbs, humans ultimately positioned themselves at the top of Earth's food chain, dominating the entire planet.
Our origins, the ultimate question. Where do we, as humans, truly come from? Let's trace back 4.6 billion years. With the explosion of a supernova, the primitive sun began to form within a vast cloud of hydrogen molecules. The surrounding matter also collapsed, forming the current solar system. Our Earth was also born from the chaos. Earth's early environment was extremely harsh, with no trace of life. Until 3.8 billion years ago, as Earth's geology gradually stabilized, the surface temperature, initially 10,000 degrees Celsius, slowly began to decrease. Water vapor then condensed, and water ceaselessly rained down on Earth, gradually forming oceans. Then, anaerobic organisms began to appear in the ocean. 2.5 billion years ago, due to the surging increase in oxygen content in the atmosphere and oceans, countless algal plants began to reproduce and grow wildly, replacing gradually anaerobic organisms. At this point, biological evolution subtly paused. 540 million years ago, with the Cambrian explosion, In just 20 million years, Earth saw the emergence of countless different species of organisms. The crucial point: 420 million years ago, there was a creature called a bony fish. After leaving the water for the first time and crawling onto land, they evolved into tetrapods. For better survival, they gradually evolved into amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. But to this day, many people still don't believe that human ancestors were fish. However, Darwin's theory of evolution is already deeply ingrained. The theory of evolution states primates began to appear over 60 million years ago. They were not extinct like the dinosaurs due to the asteroid impact on Earth. Having successfully survived the fifth great mass extinction, they not only fortunately survived, but also successfully split into two lineages 25 million years ago. One evolved into monkeys, and the other into chimpanzees and humans. It's worth noting that chimpanzees fell behind 6 million years ago, so they ultimately failed to evolve into intelligent beings. This is why humans and chimpanzees share up to 99% genetic similarity. 4.4 million years ago, the Ardipithecus, the first bipedal hominids, finally appeared. However, large terrestrial mammals were a danger to them, so they spent most of their time in trees. But for survival, they had to come down to find food. 3.7 million years ago, the Australopithecus, who evolved from the Ardipithecus, undertook an unprecedented massive migration for survival. During this migration, they not only faced food scarcity, but also frequently suffered attacks from ferocious beasts and various natural disasters. This was the most difficult period for human ancestors. 2.4 million years ago, Australopithecus finally evolved into Homo habilis. They transformed into powerhouses on the African savanna. At this time, human ancestors could skillfully use wooden sticks and even stone tools. Homo habilis acted together, foraged together. With weapons, they could even snatch food from other predators. By 1.8 million years ago, the emergence of Homo erectus definitively shaped the course of humanity. They had no excess fat on their bodies and therefore possessed extremely fast running speeds. When they spotted prey, they would patiently track it over long distances until they caught up, then surround and kill it. High-calorie meat foods progressively boosted their brain energy. By this point, they had already acquired the ability to coexist through mutual understanding. As their population continually expanded, driven by comfortable climates and abundant food, Homo erectus began to move into a wider world. The Asian and European continents gradually became covered with human tracks. At this moment, early humans finally stepped out of Africa and onto the world stages. From then on, in just a few million years, humans created countless historical miracles, and human civilization will continue to extend until the moment Earth ends its life. I believe that human civilization at that time will surely be able to bring a perfect conclusion to Earth.